Got those barks in.
The dog
The
ties
dog
it
came
up.
alive.
Oh my gosh, the dog. Uh, we had to bark it up for Nate Dogg tying the game. Um, so we had to do it in his honor, but I guess I'll do the official intro now that we barked it up. Another episode of Eyes on As podcast, part of the EPS family of podcasts by the fans, for the fans, diehards only. I'm Cam with Eric. Dave is helping his daughter move right now, so he can't be here. But wow, wow. Eric, how you feel? How's your heart, buddy? How's your heart?
I was taking all the heart medicine a little bit ago. Oh my gosh, we got so much to get into. Just a warning for anyone watching. I may not remember a lot of what happened the last hour. So
Yeah,
if I'm a
it's
little off, you know
so
why.
our first rapid reaction fresh off of a game and our minds are mush because of how crazy what just happened. I
Insane.
I I'll have to look because obviously we didn't have time to like look at the stats. I don't know if I remember. I'm sure it's happened, but like in the playoffs, as being down 2 goals with less than like 5 minutes left, coming back to win it. I don't know if they've done that before. If they have, I can't really remember. But that was, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just in
Well,
shock still.
first thing like I think of, I think it was last game. Minnesota scored first, and they had been undefeated 4-0 in these playoffs. Like, if they scored first, they were going to win that game 4-0. And game 4 and game 5, they scored first and they left with a loss, which just shows the grit, shows the veteran room of just sticking to the process, sticking to uh, what their game plan was, trusting their team, and playing strong.
Yeah,
And it
it's
helps a lot. Doesn't help the fans. I bet you my in laws are at the game, and I could only
Oh, are you
imagine how they
serious?
felt. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
They're a little, they're my in laws, so they're a little older. So I hope
The
they took their heart medicine today.
yeah, the highs and lows of that, because I mean, I'm sure you feel the same way, and everyone listening, watching is probably the same. Like, you can handle a loss, like you're gonna lose, and like you can accept it, but it's how you lose. And like after that first period
Yes.
where they just came out, well, they scored with 26 seconds in the game or 34 seconds in the game, and I was like, okay, defensive breakdown. Maybe it was they caught us flat-footed, whatever. And then it happens again. I was like, okay. And then that's this whole first period was just like no effort. Obviously the Wild are gonna be desperate. They have to win, duh. But you gotta match that, obviously.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
like, if we lose this game this way, I'll really be upset because I'm like, you can lose a game, but with the effort they put in, and after the first period, I'm not gonna lie, we were all texting each other. I was like, I don't think they can with the way they're playing. I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna happen tonight, boys. Like, I don't think it's our night.
Well, during the season too, I feel like one of their uh, biggest temptations was if they were in a position of strength, they had clinched, they'd been on a winning streak, something of that nature. The slow starts were always a big point of emphasis, and then the wild flurries at the end to come back and kind of cover up those things. And the thing I was getting ready to say when we were getting on here is I don't think anyone can beat a focused Colorado Avalanche team in the year of our Lord
Agreed.
2026. Their issue is they take their eye off the ball a lot.
Yes.
They're in a position of strength where um, if they don't win this one, they have game 6
Yep.
to eliminate. And I think that makes them, as much as they're veterans, as much as they try to stay focused, I think it's hard for them to rile themselves up, especially versus a team that is very desperate and scrappy.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, you guys dug yourself too big of a hole to get out of because you guys were on the back of your foot and just hoping that you had broken the will of the Wild like you did the Kings, and they were gonna open it up and have nice, easy skating lanes and things like that, and Minnesota is a good team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They are a scrappy offensive team, and their stars were ready to play. I feel like I kept hearing, Boldy needs to do something, and he helped right away get that first goal going and set them up in a good position. And I was like, okay, where are our stars to jump in? And for a lot of it, it was like you're having to look for them with a microscope because they were just all not that they weren't trying. You could just feel the lack of jump
Yeah,
from the beginning.
for sure. And I agree, and I when I expand on the point you made of no one competing in a focused Avs team, and obviously the while they're going to come out desperate, they have to win this game. It's do or die. They can't come out like the Avs came out because they they wouldn't have came back from that. They would have been dead. But when the Avs came out in the second period and started pushing and skating, the Wild had nothing. Like, and I think we talked about it last pod. They're exhausted. As soon as the Avs are like, okay, guys, we're down three. We gotta try now. Especially Hughes and Faber, like they were still taking 3 minute shifts, which blows my mind. I'm like, get off the ice. Like, granted, it's Hugh, they're good players, but I'm like, 3 minute shifts in the Stanley Cup playoffs in an elimination game, like you can't be out there that long. And we saw it. Second period, they're dogging. Third period, it was just the Avs were just beating on them, beating on them, and beating on them, and they just looked exhausted. And I think they were exhausted. And I was telling my wife, I'm like, because playoffs usually it isn't a. I mean, granted tonight it was, but usually it's not a great goal in overtime. It's a bounce. It's a turnover. It's something lucky. And I was like, if we got to score quick because we have the momentum from the third period, we tied up. We got to get this quick because what could happen is you miss the net. It rims around. You're caught. It's a odd man rush the other way, or it bounced off defenseman. It goes in, and the Wild win that game after we crushed them. And luckily that didn't happen. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. The Avs when they show up and they play their best hockey, no one, not the Wild, not the Knights, not the Ducks, not the Sabres, not the Canadians, not the Hurricanes sitting there undefeated. No one can play with them.
Yeah, yeah, and I think what's so interesting too is, like, you alluded to it, like, they they knew they were backed up in a corner, and all the stars just wouldn't get off the ice. Like, Boldy in the beginning was on the ice nonstop, like, him, Kaprizov, like, Faber and Hughes, like, nonstop, and you could see the desperation from them, and they have I'm trying to think. I mean, the Ducks are getting there, but I feel like besides the Avs, they have some of the strongest star power. Like,
Yeah.
like stratosphere high, maybe not the
Yeah.
amount, but just
Yeah.
Hughes, Boldy now,
Yeah. Boldy,
Faber,
Faber, Kaprizov.
Kaprizov has the biggest contract. Like,
Yeah.
their big guns were like, okay, we're going to drag this team. And then randomly the Nick Folinos of the world
Yeah. Yeah.
are like, no, let me help.
Yeah.
But it just shows like uh I think even the strength of the Avs because of what they had to endure in that first period push, that just desperation push,
Yeah.
and what they were able to withstand. Now, I hope they don't get in the habit of this, of thinking, "Hey, we got this. let's give them a period to
Yeah.
warm up and see what
Yeah.
happens." But I mean, so happy because they really dug themselves a hole. I
Yeah.
was really like thinking through the scenarios, and I'm like, man, I do not want to go back to Minnesota.
You never want to give a desperate team, motivation, especially going back home. It'd be one thing if we were playing this game on the road and we lost and we're coming back. Um, oh, I was talking to me. Yes, it was.
Eric, come on.
Agreed,
Great
Eric.
stuff, brother.
Yep, great point. Um, so you just kind of brought it up, and I noticed it too, especially in the third period and overtime. The Avs' depth, every line was coming out there. Every defenseman was going over. I feel like the whole third period in the overtime, all I saw on the Wild was Faber, Hughes, Boldy, Caprice. I didn't see anybody else. Like either they weren't doing anything or it was just their guns. And like Bednar could be like third line up, fourth line up, top line up. Makar and Taves out. It's Manson and like it didn't matter. And they just wore them down. You can't ride those guys over and over and over again. It
Yeah.
showed our depth compared to Mini, even though Mini added pieces this year, which they are better. But again, push comes to shove, and you have to get that goal, and they only had five guys to keep running out there to try to do something, and they couldn't get it done. But like we were talking about, as the time was ticking down in the third and it's still 3-1, we got 10 minutes to go. I'm like, we got to get one quick. And
I
it's 5 minutes
know.
to go and it's still 3-1. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be down 2 goals with a few minutes left, having to pull
Yes.
wedgie and try to get 2 goals. And then we get that one nice little bounce deflection. I think it was 3 minutes left, I believe. 3-2. I'm like, okay, we got a shot. And then it was
We got
just,
something. We
yeah,
have
I'm like,
life.
I'm like, if we let them out of the zone, not good. And we kept holding in. And then I mean, I was eating sunflower seeds. I have to eat while I'm watching. I got to keep my fingers and stuff going. And I almost choked on a seed when Mac shot that goal to tie it, dude. I was like, the dog. The yeah, the stars showed up. What were you think when he shot that in and it went in and it's
Gosh.
tied? What were you feeling in that moment, Eric?
I fell to my knees. I fell to my knees because I think like Eric commented, like the Avs were dominating. They were pushing so hard in the second and third, but I felt like for the longest, our top line was getting neutralized. And they were just having to trust the spark plug of the fourth line, trust the cadre line, and just hoping something would wiggle loose. But it was so funny. It like in some ways mirrored game 3 so much where they jumped on us. We scored. I was really scared they were going to score right back because that
So
had
did
been a
I. That's
trend.
exactly what I said. Exactly what I
I
said.
was like, lock it down. But they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, okay, this is gonna be, maybe more like game 2 where we just kind of slowly are punching them and beating them down." But I mean, defensively, the Wild were doing really good
Mm-hmm.
of this bend don't break. Like, hey, we're not gonna get a lot of offense. We know we have a nice cushion and we're just gonna hold them off. And they did a great job. And Wallstead was holding off pretty well. I would even say like the first goal we got, like I didn't feel confident yet. I felt
Yeah.
like I said, a lot of shades of game 3 that we got it, but I was like, Wallstead's playing good, their defense is playing good. And then one of the best third period teams show up and start showing off. And like Eric commented, that Nate goal, oh my gosh, was a thing of beauty. And then, like they said on the broadcast, I don't really like. I know what Middleton was doing, but I don't know what Middleton was doing there because they like everyone else had done a pretty good job, the 2 guys behind him,
Mm-hmm.
of blocking off that middle, and he kinda just, like, surrendered himself in a weird way to block that, when that's, like, Nate's favorite spot to shoot, and you could
Yeah.
just tell maybe that's where they miss Brodeen, maybe that's where they miss Eriksson Ek, like, it was a thing of beauty, but I also think, like, defensively, how are you gonna leave the dog wide open on that? Kind of blew my
I
mind too, and them
I'll
talking about it really highlighted it.
Yeah, I'll have to watch the replay again to watch his head because I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think if I remember correctly, what happened because they obviously have they're a man down with goalie pulled, so we have it's 6-on-5.
Totally. Totally.
I think he glanced in the middle of the slot, and I can't remember who, if it was Kadri or what guy of ours was in the slot, but I think he glanced and there was not a wild guy there yet. And then he sees Nate, so he's in between two, and I think his thinking was if I go to Nate harder, he's just gonna slip it to the slot, and the guy's gonna be wide open. And I'm pretty sure he glanced over to the Avs guy, and
It
he was kind of in the middle, and he didn't see his uh, forward partner there yet. So he kind of, I think his thinking, I think, is like if I go to Nate and charge him or try to give him, he's just gonna pass to the slot, and they're gonna be one time in.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it ended up being that there was somebody guarding the Avs guy, and then
Yeah.
he looked
Well,
terrible because he just sat down basically, and Nate was like, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna roof it right over your goalie and tie this game up." So
I know, which was it was such a thing of beauty. But yeah, I just thought like I don't know, defensively, if you are gonna lay down and give yourself up, you kind of like s- throw yourself towards Nate and then
yeah,
kind of put your stick in the way and block the shot and kind of help your goalie out. Like he'll still have the line of sight, but
yeah,
also, you know, he's not having to watch the low shots or
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
This is very much a fan talking, not a
yeah.
hockey player.
But I think the play to be like, if it was me in that situation, well, I hope I'd never have to be staring at Nate with the goal on the line. But I think that if he goes back and looks, I think what he would probably do is lunge at Nate with his stick. So if Nate tries to shoot, at least he could poke the puck out. And if Nate tries to pass it, at least his stick can hopefully get a chunk of it if he's passing instead of what I think he just kind of brain farted a little bit too. Like he's like tired.
I was gonna ask
They're
if
getting
he
work
what his
done,
shift was looking like.
yeah, and then he's just like, I'm gonna half block, half block the middle, and then it ended up being worst case scenario. And
It felt like a tired, like I'm gonna just put my stick out here and hope something
yeah,
happens.
yeah,
And I think at that point, all the momentum was with the Avs. And
yeah,
I think even overtime, I think Minnesota had a great push, but it's so funny. I feel like the momentum tilt, like in hockey, it just feels like it tilts
you
an
can
ice, like
feel it
for
too.
real. Yes.
Yeah,
It feels so real. And just there were a lot of times, even in the third period, where they were the Avs were really pushing and nothing was happening, but you could feel the momentum even tilting in that moment. And I think when they got to overtime, like I just think Minnesota was tired. I think they
yeah,
pushed so hard. I think they were really fighting, but
yeah.
I think those tired legs, those checks to uh,
Well, and
Hughes,
and like we talked about, like I think Wild had like one or two pushes in overtime, like a couple plays. They got broken up, but the one that almost ended it, and this is like overtime, anything can go. And I think the Wild were thinking like we got to end it quick because we're
yes,
exhausted. But
exactly.
20 seconds in, we pinch. It's a 2-on-1, and they
I thought
they
it was
slid it.
done there.
I thought it was done because I saw it, and as soon as I saw where McCarron was and where Wedgie was, like nobody can come over that fast. I'm like, game over. Like we just blew it right here. And thankfully, Boldy, you could see on the replay, it came off his heel and went about a foot too far in
Ugh.
front. And then McCarron being a big goofy dude and not. If it
McCarron,
was Kaprizov or something,
all
like
the
a
players hate
skilled,
him.
yeah.
They know
If
he's
it was a
dirty.
skilled player, he probably could have pulled that in real quick and still got it off. But McCarron being Wemby of the ice, basically like Gumby, newborn baby gear, whatever, couldn't get it. But I'm like, we dodged that. I actually said like we dodged that
So
bullet. We're
much.
gonna win this game now because of that missed opportunity. And then right before we scored, actually, I think Kaprizov had the puck, and I can't remember who's with him, but they went down and it got broken up and it went across the ice and hit the boards. And then I'm like, go,
Yes.
go, go. And then
Well,
we had a
Brett
puck,
Kulak
and
blocked
yeah,
that one,
was it
which was
Kulak who blocked
nuts.
it?
Yes,
And then
he
he goes and
blocked it,
scores.
and then it goes to Parker Kelly. Parker Kelly, I'm pretty sure, gets a beautiful pass to Natchez, and I thought Natchez was going to win it for
That's
us.
what I thought.
But what was so good is I feel like there was a point where the Avs maybe got a little frustrated, and first person there started shooting
Yeah,
or first pass shoot.
yeah,
and I was like, "Hey, let's have some offensive pressure." Minnesota is keeping their guys out for so long. Let's wear them out a little
Yes.
because we were trying to get cheap stuff. And I think there really showed like just good coaching, good veteran presence of like, hey, there's no rush here. I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna help set something up. And Marty sets up Brett Kulak for a beautiful
That
shot.
was amazing.
It was gorgeous. I mean, Nate's obviously is top tier number one,
Yep.
but Brett Kulak's
He's
so
been a
good.
great pickup for us. Like he's been playing unreal. Yeah.
He's a Devon Taves light for us,
Yes.
which I think is really nice. A just not a huge guy on the score sheet, but he is going to settle down the puck for his D partner, so his D partner can go to work, which is usually Malinsky. And maybe we can use this to kind of pivot into all our Avs drama. But I just really love that about Brett Kulak. He's just a nice, calming presence for that second D pairing unit, whoever it is. It's usually him, which has been really nice. So, yes, huge
Yeah.
pickup for us.
Yes. Yeah, I like his game. He's solid and like I said, he's gonna be good defensively. But when he can score and contribute offensively, it's just a bonus. But like you're saying, the Avs drama got a few different things here, injuries and goalies. But obviously, Malinsky and Lecky were still out. I heard day to day on those guys, so I'm assuming probably they'll be back, obviously for the conference finals. But they're banged
That
up.
would be nice.
Um, Makar has got multiple things. He has the hip groin thing from game one, and then his shoulder arm thing from tonight. So he's got some issues too. So we've
It,
got some injury issues for
that
sure.
reverse hit, it looked like a pinched nerve thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it was the hit. It feels like almost like how the stick like reacted in his arm, like just
Yeah.
messed with him, like real bad pinched nerve or something messed up. It's obviously probably worse, but yeah, that was very concerning. And then I heard, I think they were saying that he hasn't had a point since game one,
Yeah. He
which
only
would
has
make
5
sense.
points in the playoffs, I believe, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
So I think that pre-playoff injury and then this, I think they're starting to add up to
Yeah.
Kale McCarr,
Yeah.
which I don't love.
Skating wise, he seems to be pretty good. Like he's still got the speed and the breakouts. It's just he's not pushing the envelope of his normal like take it all the way in the rush. He's had bits and pieces when he has the room or the stuff at the blue line, but you can definitely tell he's hurting. But on the flip side of that, with the Malinsky, Lecky, and Makar injuries, those guys, and then the second line, and Shushkin and Nelson still haven't really done on the score sheet wise too much. So the fact that we've won 2 series, have done this, and our second line really hasn't done anything, and we have some injuries, that's kind of a positive because you would hope that we would get healthier down the road if it's not too serious. And you got to figure that that second line is going to pop off at some time, and that's just going to be even crazier if that goes off for the Avs, depth wise.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Val, his presence was really felt today. I feel like I could feel him a lot today.
Yeah,
And I think that might have been because they put him with Kadri and Waugh
yeah,
a few times and then kind of mixing up the lines there. But yeah, Nelson, I'm kind of like he had it a few times this season where he'd go through a dry spell and then just pop off a few.
hmm,
But I feel like we're almost in scary territory with Brock Nelson. I love Brock Nelson. He always makes the right decision, always will never put us in danger in any way. But he was also, I'm pretty sure, a 30 goal scorer this year. Am I
that is
right with that
correct.
number?
Yep, yep,
So not having him show up on the score sheet, it feels really concerning. Where I think Val, he's not showing up on. I think he had an empty netter,
Yeah, he did.
but
Yeah.
I think I felt him a lot today defensively,
Yes.
really doing stuff. Him and Ross Colton, I think
Yeah.
occasionally were together, and I felt his presence. Brock Nelson feels invisible right now,
Yeah.
and that doesn't feel usual. I feel like Brock Nelson's someone we can count on. So for him to be one of the few that haven't really, I think he has an empty netter too, but to not like really contribute where we're needing goals and feeling that lack, and we're
Hmm.
I feel like I'm like, oh, I think the fourth line will come up clutch for us before the second line. I don't even think that. I'm like, okay, they're gonna put us in a good position for one of the other lines to score.
Yeah.
But I don't I don't I'm wondering what Jared Bednar is gonna do to kinda get Brock Nelson going in
Yeah,
this
because
next.
I mean, this game, especially in the last few games, like you see Val, he may not be scoring, but he's digging those pucks out. He's hitting. I feel like, especially
Yes.
this game, like they were saying, Nichushkin with the puck, Nichushkin. I agree with you. Like, not only is Nelson not scoring, I don't even see him getting his. Announcers aren't even saying, like, oh, good play by Nelson or good. He got the corner. Like, he's getting beat to pucks. Like, I don't know if he's got an injury going on or if it's the pressure of
That's
the playoffs and he's the second line guy and he scored 30 goals and now they're in the play. I don't know, but I hope
did
hopefully it's
did
just injury.
Nelson take some time off before the playoffs started? I
I
think he did, but it was just maintenance, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a
he didn't
couple
play the
day
last
like a day.
game because the same with like Mac, like it's maintenance
Yeah.
rest him for the playoffs. But I didn't ever heard like injury for him at all. It was just like resting the guys for because he's 34, 35, so he's a little older. Like rest up for the playoffs. But um, yeah, that's concerning going forward because if we can get those guys popping off, it's just gonna make everything that much better. And if you're not scoring, you got to be doing everything else. You got to be a dog. Like he's got to be killing people and getting those pucks, and he hasn't really been doing. You nailed it.
No.
Invisible. I haven't really noticed him at all.
And I know, I bet you to like my untrained eye, he's doing way more work in between that we don't see, but it really like there's no mention of him. And it's like, yeah, it's a little concerning. I worry about it every once in a while because I feel like Nick Waugh has really shown up. Our fourth line is even Kivy. Like
Yeah.
Kivy has set up a lot of things and done some things where he's jumped in. I feel like Ross Colton, like he had that huge goal, and then also I've been seeing him throw his body around
Oh
and
yeah.
just some big hits to the point where I get a little worried, especially seeing like what's his name, McNabb get suspended.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, Ross, I love the hits. Please be careful that you don't like get
Go
anything that
over the
gets you
top.
suspended. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But
Um.
yeah, I feel like for a team that has gotten a lot of rest and um, is having all four lines really produce, the injury bug is coming out of nowhere, and I'm not loving
Yeah.
that drama,
Because
especially like the random Lecky and Malinsky thing.
I
Like
had no
that
idea
was
either.
so
It's been a
wild.
couple games. I'm like, okay, what's because especially when you got a closeout game, like you'd think you want a full team to do it, and obviously they weren't good, like feeling good enough to play the closeout game. So that's concerning.
Yep.
I don't know the schedule wise because obviously Vegas and Ducks could end the next game because Vegas is up. But what's today? Today's Wednesday. Maybe like a Saturday start if Vegas ends the series. I don't know. That's a few days, but you would hope that all those guys
Maybe a
are
Sunday Monday start, hopefully,
yeah, hopefully like that we can get completely healthy and um
and back at home.
yeah,
They
and
don't have
back
to
at home.
travel.
Yeah, that's a huge thing too. So hopefully Makar and those guys can fix but everyone's got something obviously like they always talk about you're going
Totally.
through something but
The
hopefully
list.
yeah, the minor stuff that you can get through cuz that's what derails a lot of teams every year is not so much that they aren't good, it's that a big piece goes down or a couple
Yep.
depth guys go down and they can't play, and you just don't got the men to do it. So hopefully it's uh, hopefully it's nothing too serious. But the other drama we got going on, and I know how I feel about it, but obviously uh, Blackie won us game 4 to come back home for 3-1, and then we did not show up, but Blackie also didn't. Some of those were
Yeah.
not great. And Wedgie came in and pitched a shutout for himself in there. And now what would you do, Eric, if you were game 1 starter conference files? Who's in the net?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just follow the Jared Bednar train and just start Wedgie
Yeah,
game one. I think it's so funny. Like we've talked about it a few times where the tandem thing, we've seen it really bite people in the butt. And we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but initially I thought Bednar going to Blackie was a little too jumpy. I
yeah,
was like, no, I don't think you should get off of Wedgie. I think he just had a bad period. We played flat, left him hanging, and that was it. Like you go back to him and forget about it. Then he went with Blackwood. Blackwood played a great game 4
yes, he did.
in enemy territory, which I feel like is so hard.
Yeah,
And then we play flat and leave our goalie hanging again. Like I think the last two, like we've seen our goalies play really bad, is because the defense in front of them has played bad. And I think it happened today. I think it happened in game 3. And I would say, hey, like let Blackwood shake it off and put him back out there. But I think just looking at the trend after something like that, I think you just stick now with Wedgwood until he loses or has a bad period where he has to get pulled. Hopefully, we don't see that again.
yeah,
Um, and I think you let him ride until you got to switch after a loss. Because I think I was listening today about Bednar saying he was going to play Blackwood, and he's like, I don't feel bad at sticking with the hot hand
yeah,
and just going for that. And he hasn't like doesn't feel bad about sticking with the tandem. And not only is it the physical strain, but the mental strain of just being prepared, being locked
yeah,
in, that neither of the goalies have really done that this year.
yeah.
So I think as we get closer, we'll probably, and the series get tougher, we'll probably see both of our goalies more and more. Do I love it? I don't know how I feel, but
Yeah,
whatever gets us wins. And that's the
yeah,
thing. Both the goalies don't really care
yeah,
about being 1A. They care about closing out series and
yeah,
winning. I bet you both of them after this would be completely fine
yeah.
with how it
And
turned out.
maybe it kind of mirrors 22 a little bit, which obviously wasn't one goalie playing bad or the other, but Kemper had that stick in the eye where he missed like
Yep.
a whole round, and Francois came in and won, and then he went back to Kemper. So, I mean, it's not uncharted territory. It's, I guess, a little bit since it's not injury related. It's more of
Yeah.
the hot hand, but
Performance. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, maybe now for Wedgie, he got a little rest, reality check. Like, okay, I gotta be on my game, or Blackie's gonna come in and replace me, and if he plays great, then I might not get to play again. So I guess it's a good pressure to have as a goalie. Maybe I'm not a goalie. I don't know what their mindset is, but if you have the net, it's on you to keep it. And you know, if you play like bad, then the other guy's gonna go in. So maybe it'll raise their levels up more. I don't know. Um, but at least we have two good goalies for once. Of like, if one of them's playing bad, you're confident enough in the second one coming in that like, okay, we can still get the job done no matter who it is. But yes, you alluded to it does happen when the team's flat, not playing well. You leave the goalie out to dry, and there's only so much you can. When you have 2 on O's on a power play, what's the goalie gonna do? So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I mean, uh, I think both of the goalies are good enough to get us to the promised land.
yeah,
But It's funny. I mean, I think they played really well when Wedgwood was in. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like they turned it on. And I think when they switched to Blackwood, obviously different game, Minnesota comes out with that one. They pushed, but they didn't win. I don't know if that, it was their time to win this one or what, but it just sticks out to me that they have the goalie swap. There's two pushes for each of the goalie swaps, but when Wedgwood's in, they come out with the W. I think they trust Blackwood. I think they like Blackwood. We talked about this,
Yep.
but I think right now the team rallies well with Wedgie.
Yeah.
They they
I agree.
they rally well with Wedgie. They trust Blackie. They'll do whatever with Blackwood, but I think they rally well with Wedgwood. And I don't think that's anything against Blackwood. I think that's how seasons go sometimes. Sometimes you're the hot hand, sometimes you're not, you know. So
Yeah. So we got that. We got a few days, 5 days, depending on the other series. But I guess we can move on. Looking ahead, so we're in the conference finals. We're halfway done. Which I was just talking to someone about this, like why the Stanley Cup is so hard to win, and the best playoffs is for. There we go, baby. There we go. Let's get another one of those. It's such, not only is it physically demanding, obviously hockey you just get
totally.
annihilated every game. It's so mentally draining. Like, not only do you have to win 16 games, but you got to do it 4 rounds. Like, you got to beat a team 4 times, another team 4 times, another team four, and you could play 7 games each time. Like, it's a war, and it's like it might be more mentally draining than physically draining because you know what's coming, like how long it's gonna take. But um, conference finals, big plus. We're still excited. Ducks and Knights. That's who we're gonna get. Who would you rather play in the conference finals?
So I was watching the Ducks Vegas game yesterday and just thinking about this question because I knew we'd eventually be talking about it at one point or another. And man, each of them have totally different strengths, which is so funny. But the one thing that really scares me about Vegas is their ability to claw back and never give up.
Yeah,
I think even watching them, like, what one was it? It was, I think, against the Mammoth. They like came back, went into overtime, won it. There was like multiple overtime games where they just cut the heart out of the Mammoth, and then they did it to the Ducks
yep,
again. And I think skill wise, um, I think we're far and above. Don't get me wrong, Jack Eichel, Mitch Marner. I think even Mark Stone still has a lot of juice left. Like they have great players. This is not a. I'm not saying like they don't have the skill or talent. I think we just depth, star power, have more. But they also just have that nagging ability to never be out of a game.
yeah,
And I think that scares me a little more than that young gun speed because I think we can skate with the best of them. And Dostal has had some decent moments, but he's pretty leaky.
yeah,
So is Carter Hart, but I think Torts defensively protects and hides Hart's weaknesses where Dostal, uh, man, he can be some a leaky guy sometimes. And I think Quenville's a good coach, but I think they're still too young where they can't quite cover up all those things. So I think Vegas is the team I think we're going to have to play, but the team I really don't want to play.
yeah,
I feel like the Ducks, we could have a 2022 kind of thing where we all tough games, but we sweep them.
yeah,
I feel like nothing against the Ducks. I think the Ducks are good and they're only going to get better. They're going to be around in the playoffs for the next few years. But I think because of their youth, leaky goaltender, I think no, Dostal does love having those 40, 40 save games against us too. So I won't even forget about that. But um, yeah, I think I want to avoid Vegas, but I don't think we're going to get that privilege.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's kind of the because you got the Vegas as the Stanley Cup champs from a couple years ago, so they got the
Right
experience.
after us.
Yep, they're bigger, they're heavier, they don't go away, they don't quit. They know how to win. This isn't like they're trying to learn how to win in the playoffs. They've done it, so they have the experience. Where the Ducks are not dumb, but they're young and they're experiencing it for the first time. And obviously, they have some veteran players too, like Kaloran and Kreider and Truba and Gudis, who's been injured, but they've been there. But it's kind of reminds me of um, back in the late 2000s when you had Detroit and Chicago. Detroit had won the three cups. They're still hanging around. They know what to do. Chicago's the upstart. They got a young Kaner, Taves, Sharp, those guys. They're
Yep.
getting there for the first time. Detroit beats them, and Chicago's like, okay, we know what to do now. And then they become the next team and kind of fit. So I think I agree with you. I don't think they're ready yet
Yeah.
to take that
Yeah.
next step.
Yeah.
It's yeah, you nailed it 100%. They're learning. It's they'll use this for the future, but I think Vegas is just too deep and they know what to do. And I don't want to play Vegas either, but we don't get to choose that. Um, I think we match up well, and I agree. I think skill for skill, we're higher above them. We're we're better than the Ducks, obviously, because they have experience, but we're kind of more similar to the Ducks. We have the speed where Vegas isn't as fast. So I think if we did play Vegas, they're going to try to do the same thing, but I think we're so much better than the Ducks that we'll be able to skate through them. And we got heavy bodies too. Guys, we can pound Vegas right. It'll kind of be like I guess it'd probably be like a mix of the first and second rounds. A little bit of Kings, slowing it down, and then a little bit of the Wild, more skilled speed, and it's gonna kind of be a combo um, of those two, is what I would expect.
Yeah. And I think Mitch Marner and Jack Eichel scare me more than their star power of the Ducks, not because they're not as good or anything like that, but I think, like you said, it's not your year yet. I think this year in the NHL playoffs, a lot, we had a little bit of this kind of changing of the guard of like, hey, we want to start being the top dogs. I think the Canadians and Tampa Bay kind of showed that. I mean, Tampa's been trying to break through, but they run into the Panthers. They run into the Panthers, and then everybody's like, "Oh, this is the year that the Lightning do it," and run into the young Canadians and win a game 7 with 9 shots on goal. The Sabers, they finally are putting it together and are the team. A good team in a battle with the Canadians. I think the Duckies showing up and San Jose almost showing up. There was kind of a little bit of the changing of the guards,
Yep.
but then also like the perennial playoff, the Avs, the Knights, Carolina saying, "Hey, we're still running this show too." Like
Yep.
those kind of things. So I think, yeah, those young teams. I don't know if it's their turn yet, but they're also very nice Cinderella stories, and I'd like to avoid that as well too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you never know in the playoffs. You get there, it's kind of like we saw tonight. We almost blew the game with the first period, but it's half desperation, half young and dumb, like with the Ducks. Like you don't know what to expect, so you just play your game, and anything can happen. Yeah, frick yeah, Kevin.
Freaky, I Kev.
um, but I think either series would be good. I'd rather play the Ducks, but um, I know we can beat Vegas, but again, there's so many variables that health wise. Like if we're completely healthy, I don't think it's probably a 6 game series for sure. The Knights are probably gonna win 1 or 2 games for sure, just from
Oh yeah,
experience. But if we're completely healthy, they can't skate with us. And then um, looking ahead to the East, I don't know how you feel about it, but um, Carolina's gonna get like 10 to 12 days off, which is craziness, whoever
I
that
love
thinks.
and hate it.
Yeah. But I don't think I could see them going 12-0. I don't think either Montreal or Buffalo stands a chance against Carolina unless they have so much time off that like they blow game 1 cuz they've been on the beach in Cabo for 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
I don't think either one of those teams is going to beat Carolina or even come close to Carolina.
The only hope that I think the Sabres or Canadians have is that they cool off because a lot of their players were really hot, and hopefully that extra extended time off just really hits them with the rust because Carolina was scorching hot. I mean, Taylor Hall was coming alive. The stank of Stankoven
Take over. Yep.
was, coming alive. And then their other guys were starting to chip in. I mean, their goalie play is pretty spectacular right
Yeah.
now.
Anderson's been
So
playing lights
I
out.
think their only hope is, yeah, that the rust really sets in and they kind of forget how to play playoff hockey for a little and maybe can steal a game uh in in Carolina, cuz yeah, I agree with you. I could see him going 12-0 and really just scorching. But I could also see him like feeling the pressure of the last couple of years where they
Yep.
blaze through the first two rounds and really kind of trip over themselves at the end in the conference finals,
Yep.
and that kind of haunting them in the back of their mind. So, yeah, we got a lot of good hockey coming up still. A
Yeah.
lot of good hockey. It's kind of nice though that we can celebrate.
Yeah, we can take a little breather, but like we said, it's such a grind. It's still crazy to me. Like we gotta win. The Avs gotta win 8 more games. What we just did to win the cup. Like it's so crazy. I just hope, like we talked about earlier on the show, that I mean, I hope it changes. But every game, just we're not NHL players. Obviously, we're the fans. So
Hardcore
we
fans,
went out there.
diehards only.
Yeah, yeah, diehards only. You can make you guys are nuts, but I'm like you got to play like with desperation every game. It doesn't matter if it's game
Yes.
1 or if it's tied 2-2. Like every game, you got to come out ready to go. And obviously, we lucked out tonight somehow, came back and won. But the farther you go, if it is the Knights and if we beat whoever it is and get to the cup and we play whoever that is, the competition ramps up every single round and you can only get away with it so much when you come out and crap the bed in the first period and go down 3-0 and go, okay, we'll come back. Ah, maybe not this time. If you're playing a Carolina or Vegas, you might not be able to do it. So I just
Yeah.
hope they rest up, get healthy, and start the games better. Like you don't have to score necessarily, like that helps, but don't come out looking like it's a beer league game and you've been at the bar waiting for the game time to start because that was rough. That was rough. Better starts
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I would even say maybe besides game two, I think we still haven't seen a complete Avs game.
No.
Like, I mean, like we said earlier, we're still waiting for that second line. We still haven't had a full team yet, like the full healthy team, because Manson came in and we lost Malinsky and Lecky right away.
Yep.
So hopefully, this long weekend kind of settles them in, and maybe they can kind of build some good habits, get the whole team healthy, and maybe who knows, conference finals. We're a full locked in, ready to go team, and then we get the full, complete, awesome game of the Avs that we all know is there and possible, but we haven't quite seen a whole 60 minutes of.
Yeah. Because that second and third period tonight, like when they're going and they're forechecking and I feel like I'm beating a dead drum when we're texting each other and we do the pods and talk about it. Is like when they're at their best, they're winning every battle. Like
Yes.
you take a shot, the goalie saves it, goes in the corner. Who's the first one there? An Avs guy. You dump the puck in to the corner. Who's the first one there? An Avs guy. They're winning every race. They're taking the body, and no one can keep up. Like obviously Hughes and Faber and those guys are fast, but when the Avs have their foot on the gas, even they can't keep up with it. And of course, we talked about them wearing down because they played so much, but I don't care what team's left in the playoffs. The Avs at full speed, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, going up the ice, checking, hitting people, digging those pucks. It's like you're standing out there and you're like, McKinnon just came by. It's Nate just now. It's McCarr's coming. Like boom,
Yes,
boom, boom,
yes.
boom, boom, and you're just like getting punched in the face, and then they score, and you're like, what just happened? Like that's what we need to see every single period, every
Yeah.
single game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just hoping they get healthy. I think if they can run, all their D pairings, because that was the thing too. They played with 5 D men today cuz
Did
there's 6.
Chong did he get hurt or did Bednar sit him?
I feel like Bednar kind of just shortened the bench and just went with guys he could trust. But then there was a point where it felt like we were only playing with 4 men
Yeah,
because Kale. So it's like we just I think our strength right now is our speed
yeah,
and our full trust and confidence in all 4 lines and all 3 D pairing. That is one thing I think we just talk about it all the time. Our depth is so much better than most teams, and I would even keep that with most playoff teams.
yeah,
And like we need to lean into that. And when we have people injured, things like that, we have to start doing weird stuff, and that's not leaning into our strength. We can do it, but that's not where we want to live. So,
yeah,
yeah, I hope they have a nice little reset. I hope Wedgwood's ready to go game 1 because that's who I'm assuming is our starter,
yeah,
and we get to work.
yeah. And like we've talked about every time, for me, and I'm sure you guys agree too, but I have complete confidence in this team. Like playoff wise, like if I was like GM, you need scoring, you need dogs, you need guys. You got to like Bednar says. This time of year, it tightens up. You got to take the body. I feel like, I mean, you go down our roster lines 1 through 4 and the defense, like everybody's can shoot, everybody can score, everyone can get in the pucks, and everyone loves hitting. Even Marty was taking the body.
I love it.
Like they all sacrifice. They'll block shots, they'll hit people, they'll score every single line, and not every team has that luxury. You have the scorer who won't hit, the defenseman who can skate great, but he won't go in the corner or block shots. Like we have every single person is plug and play, can do all the right stuff, and as long as we can stay healthy and play our game, I don't see us getting beat. Not in a 7 games, not 4 times, like one or
Yep.
two, yeah, but not 4 times. No,
Yeah.
no frickin' way.
You know what I have to say to that? Frick yeah.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
uh,
Um.
well, that's all I got, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I think that's sums it up pretty good. I text Eric and Dave after the first period, and I said, "Do we have to do a podcast tonight?" Because I really did not want to come on and talk about a loss live reaction. Like it's one
No.
thing a day or two after, but 20 minutes after a loss, like would have been so depressing. But thank
I was
God we won that game.
I was thinking about this too because we've just been doing this podcast at the start of the playoffs. This is our first podcast that we have a loss in our podcasting time to talk about game 3, which we don't even need to talk about because we won the
It doesn't
series.
matter. No.
So
Yeah. Who
this
cares?
this podcast doesn't talk about losses. We only talk about wins. So stick with us. We're going all the way to the cup, baby.
Yeah, it seems to be working. Oh, and bring it on. I showed you guys last time. Okay, so don't hate me because it could be my fault. When we lost game 3, I forgot to put my avalanche fist
Come
on my
on.
coffee table, and we lost the game. And 2 minutes before puck drop, Amanda Hawkins was singing the national anthem,
Come
and
on.
I said, "Oh crap!" And I went in my closet and I grabbed this fist and I stuck it on the coffee table. This fist is undefeated in the playoffs. It has not lost when it's been on my coffee table.
See, so just so everyone knows, the Eyes on Avs podcast isn't superstitious. We're just a little stitious.
Yeah, just just the Hulk fist from
Just a little stitious, guys.
2008 at Ballroom, well, Pepsi Center back then, but yes.
I mean, to keep the mojo, I was wearing my Nate jersey when the Avs won Game 4. We were losing, and I put it on third period because I was like, we got to switch up the mojo. It's
Yeah.
not working right now. So
Yeah.
hey, whatever we got to do to come out with a win, I'm happy about.
You got to do it. You got to do it. Yep. Um, yep. So
Sweet.
I don't think I have anything else. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for getting some comments, guys. Make sure to follow us on Eyes on Abs YouTube. Tell your friends. Follow us on X. I'm posting
Come on.
on Instagram and Threads. Eyes on Abs. We like to hear from you guys on their thoughts and everything. But um, yeah,
I'm
thanks again
a
for
I'm a
listening.
social media lurker, guys. So I'll start commenting more now that we're in the playoffs and doing stuff. So hey, well, let's chat. Let's chat on Threads. Let's chat here.
Yes.
Love to see more of you guys.
Yes. Thank
All
you,
right,
guys, and we'll see you next week, and maybe have one or two games to discuss
to
because
chat
we're in the
about.
conference finals, baby.
Come on, let's go. All right, I can't do this and close the stream. I'm not as good as Dave. All right, later, guys. Like,
See ya.
comment, subscribe, follow. Hope to see you next week.